Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Team Fortress TV. We've had sort of 8 weeks of build-up now. It's season 39. It's the Premiership Grand Finals, the ultimate game of Prem, and I think it's going to be a corker. It's Ora Elektro versus 4Toast. Joining me today on the desk is going to be DuMmTm. eepily will be joining us shortly enough to sort of take the map through when it's live, and we got Wiethoofd on production. So, DuMmTm, how are we doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. I am excited for this game here. It's been a season with all sorts of things happening, almost unprecedented comebacks, weird upsets, and all sorts of crazy stories. Anything you can imagine that could happen in the season pretty much happened here as well. And this is the grand finale now. We've seen the match, obviously, here between these two teams the other day already, in form of the upper bracket finals. Ora Elektro took it in two really, really close maps, but they did come up superior once before. But just winning 2 maps tonight won't be enough. Grand finals, as is not always the case, but so often, will be a best of 5.
Yep, there's going to be no map advantage this time around, as you touched on. We did see in the upper bracket final just a week ago, Ora Elektro coming good, winning that one, and 4Toast, they're seeking a bit of revenge, trying to take this over the sort of 5-map gauntlet we've got laid in front of us. Should we have perhaps a little peep at what maps we should be seeing tonight?
Yes, there's a lot to look at here and a lot to unpack which decision each team did. And as it goes, 4Toast took Team A position in this. Oftentimes B is considered the better choice because you do get to have your choices back to back here for picks and bans quickly. We'll see how it pans off for them here. Either way, end result is we're starting off on a Gullywash for 4Toast. They wanted to see this map being played out here and follow that up with the picks on Ora, with bans obviously in between as well. The bans were Process and Gully for 4Toast and Ora each. Or 4Toast banned Process, and Granary was banned for Ora Elektro. My bad. As for bans, this makes a lot of sense to me. Process was, if you remember the beginning of the season, starting off a little bit shaky there, right? Awkward game, let's say, with Yak's team at the very start of the season for 4Toast might not have made a good first impression there. And as much as they did beat Gullywash playoffs team at the end of the season on it as well, it was a fairly tame 3-1, let's say. So they're feeling not as confident on it as some other choices here for them. As for Ora Elektro as well, Granary, they won them games there as well, but again, like tamer wins. Just want to play it safe, I suppose, though.
Yeah, definitely. The 2 ban maps you can see are definitely sort of ropey, because of course on Ora Elektro they lost their week as well, 5-1 to Garda on Process and Granary. So pretty sensible from both these teams to elect to ban those 2. So a lot of pug maps. We all know how much 4Toast love product, and I'm sure it should be quite an interesting tie-up. But Gullywash kicking it off, 4Toast pick. It should be quite a tight one, I can imagine.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, with this many maps, it is the age-old story of competitive TF2, especially at the highest level, right? You get rewarded a lot if you have the bigger map pool as a team, right? Especially in the Audit, you obviously see teams just kind of rolling each other on the map picks sometimes, and then the decider is the one that's really close here, and you can't have that happen to you at this level anymore, right? You just gotta have as many maps as you can. If there's like one weak one somewhere, you can maybe avoid it with a ban in a best-case scenario, but at this level of play, you just gotta have a good average all around.
Exactly, and they've really got to run the gauntlet tonight. And speaking of running the gauntlet, shall we have a little peepers at who makes up both of these teams facing each other in this grand final?
Yeah, the rosters should be on the stream right about now here for everyone to see. And we have 4Toast coming in from the losers bracket. Obviously lost the first matchup here between these 2 teams, but I mean, these rosters are just really, really strong looking no matter what. You have so much Prem experience on these rosters. Really, the only odd one out here in some extent is Thomas on Soldier. But even then, right? I mean, Man played a lot of Scout before and has played the entire Nations Cup. They did also perform incredibly on the British side here. So just an all-star lineup, really.
Yeah, certainly is, and they've been really tearing it up. You've seen them sort of grow a bit. It looked a bit shaky at the start of the season. They looked perhaps a little bit ropey in that DreamHack Cup we saw a few maps back, and then of course that Nations Cup that many of these players sort of roped together in on the England team sort of did them a lot of favors as well. But a very formidable lineup, a wealth of Prem experience, and certainly a lot more than you see on the Aura side. But Ora definitely a lot beefier than last season as well.
Yeah, Ora Elektro, I mean, nothing to underestimate either. Clearly this season, right? Getting this far from the winner side of playoffs as well here. A lot of experience to DuMmTm, a very new acquisition to both this team and Premiership in general, but certainly already shown his worth here for the team on Medic. And other than that, you have a lot of returning faces here as well. Eames, Nevo, Yeehaw, sort of pre-established roster here for Ora from past seasons, all really established already, together getting all as far as second place in the past before. Want to get better than that now. Newer choices here. Chris has been around, of course. People have seen him many of times in the past here on various teams. Rons, like DuMmTm, not been around as much nearly, but had a really good regular season. However, had to mysteriously miss out on playoffs due to being on vacation here. And while he did get very good marks in the meantime here in playoffs, now he has to play because the one missing tonight for Ora will be replaced by Hugo again is Chris, actually. So missing out, obviously, main always hurts, but they're trying to keep the consistency up. They're trying to keep players on the roster that will be on the games as much as they can here from last week.
Yeah, of course. Hugo is certainly definitely a side grade at the very least. He's been at the top flight for a little while. Of course, he did touch on both DuMmTm and Rons made their Prem debut last season. To see both of these players here in the grand final is certainly nothing to be sniffed at. And of course, from last season, Ora dropped a few of their Frenchies, and it seems to have worked out for them. But I won't dwell too much on that one.
I mean, in recent cup history, right? The question has always been how many Frenchies is the winning number, and maybe they found success with this much. Maybe 2 is in fact all you need here. I guess shoutouts to Azunis, who obviously couldn't play the season here, but Rons keeps the Frenchie number up on their side as well. So they're about as ready as can be here. I have gotten word from the players. They're keen to go. They want to play. They've warmed up 2 maps beforehand. Both of their respective opponents were lower Prem to top Div 1 opponents here, both looking really fierce. I think 4Toast had like a very aggressive playstyle shown already here. Ora Elektro with always their slow, methodical playstyle slowly coming back in the course of the game. All teams here on the Premiership Grand Finals won their respective pre-game scrims as well. So they're ready to go. Let's see if our casters are as well with eepily and Bumfries on the mics for you guys.
Yeah, we are. We're here. We're good to go. We're looking forward to this. I can see, like you say, teams are basically readying up already. This is going to be a pretty sick game. What do you think, Bum?
It's going to be an exciting one for sure. Maybe not even the teams we expected to be seeing in the grand finals this season. I mean, it has been a hell of a ride start to finish, with everyone just kind of getting chaotic results all over the place, a very chaotic schedule as well. But eventually, we've ended up here, Ora and 4Toast in the grand finals. And I want to say it's an unexpected turnout that Ora ended up winning in the upper bracket final also. That was probably not what most people were expecting. Do you reckon they'll be able to duplicate that result tonight?
Honestly, it's really difficult for me to say this considering like the history of the 4Toast roster, but I'm genuinely favoring Ora Elektro tonight. I think they looked so good in that upper bracket game, and even seeing 4Toast play versus the Frenchies on that lower bracket final, that most recent game just a couple days ago, 4Toast obviously they did win that. It did go to 3 maps, and they had some real moments where they were looking like scrappy. They were looking really uncoordinated, and not to throw too much shade at the Frenchies, like the Frenchies are good, but they haven't shown to be on the same level as Ora. And the fact that 4Toast did have a little bit of trouble actually makes me think that this, maybe only about 60-40, but I am genuinely favoring Ora.
Interesting. I'm going to go the other way and say that due to, best of 5, it's going to get dragged out a little longer. I think the experience of 4Toast will give them a little bit of an advantage there. And it's a real shame to see absolutely no upper bracket advantage at all this season. Obviously, it's not great when you just see a straight up 1 map advantage, but it would be definitely nice to see a reward for not losing a single game in the playoffs. Maybe get both bans for yourself, or at least be able to choose what side of the pick ban you're on, because at the moment you have to either just agree or fight for it in a heavy fist fight. It would be nice to have a bit of an advantage for Ora coming into this, but unfortunately that is not the case, and that just makes it a little harder for them, I feel like, to replicate their upset. So overall, I'm going to go for 4Toast tonight, but it's going to be very interesting nevertheless.
Well, I mean, we're going to find out pretty soon. First map is going to be Gullywash, an absolute classic map Quite a big map historically for Toast and these ex-Ascent players. So this is it. Here we go. This is our Season 39 Premiership Grand Finals. Ora Elektro versus 4Toast. They're starting off on this first map here in this best of 5.
Yeah, and 4Toast actually managed to... They get to pick this map before any bans have even taken place, so they're hoping for a dominant start.
Yeah, well, nothing too early on these mids. We're seeing Pappy go pretty aggressive. Trying to deal with their scout right now, taking down Wiethoofd. All-important player here for the side of Ora Elektro. Now we start moving all the way in. Thomas, nice little air shot onto Eames. Then getting frag after frag after frag. And that seems like an easy little mid-fight there. Pappy trying to cut off Trum now as well. Getting that all-important direct. Yep. He's going to get taken down in Nevo shortly after. That's a huge mid.
Yeah, a wipe on the first mid. As soon as Wiethoofd was down there, there's just no coming back from it for Ora. They bombed both their soldiers forward but found nothing while getting completely rolled on all corners of the map. In the meantime, obviously Medic going down late as well. Trum has only just spawned on that 2%. And DuMmTm will be getting ready to run this through any second now. Sentry Gun is just about going up, but there's not much time to get it to a decent level. The Pyro, of course, defending it as per usual. And now 4Toast running it in.
Yeah, all the way through Shutter. Gonna have to deal with this gun first. Great deny from the Pyro. Gun does eventually go down, but no players lost on the side of Ora Elektro. Pretty good hold so far. Going to be all about keeping control of this point as 4Toast is trying to get all the way towards this left-hand side. Heavy still doing so much work. He does eventually go down. Now suddenly Sticky's on the point. That's all that matters. Neo gets that frag towards Eames. Suddenly, this is a 3 versus 3 situation. 80% on the side of Trum. We do see a lot of work coming out right now on Nevo, but Creddy's hitting those shots. 90% now onto Trum. They move towards point. Lucas getting so much damage. Oh, with the bottle frag. That's the round.
That's so unfortunate that they managed to just pick up Nevo in the nick of time before Trum gets that Uber up. If they had managed to live a little longer, Trum obviously going to be able to block that point, push them out. But 4Toast does take a very convincing round. Only 2 minutes off the clock and they're 1-0 in the lead. Rolling out to this second mid, Lucas putting a bit of spam onto Big Door. Thomas already towards enemy drop down. He's coming up behind Eames here. Hasn't been spotted as of yet. Pappy also from the front in with a huge double bomb. They're going to be cleaning up Nevo and Eames. Ron's to fall as well. Trum not getting out of that one alive. Now it's just the scout and Hugo trying to clutch this. Hugo's been spotted. He's on the floor. Doesn't look like he's going to get anything. Another convincing wipe from 4Toast.
Yeah, just looking easy for 4Toast on these mids. I will say, you know, Gullywash, it is a very, very good map for all of these players on the side of 4Toast. It's something which has kind of been there, I don't know, been there just standard map to go to a lot, so not too surprised to see them winning, but why this dominating is not ideal for Ora.
Yeah, well, this it's kind of to be expected when neither team gets a ban. You know, you just get to pick your favorite map right off the bat and start doing stuff like this. They do take this second Uber of the game in. Sentry Gun lasting a lot longer this time, still does fall eventually. Neo is going to be taken down, though, in return. They're playing the point, but they just run straight into 2 players there, and they're going to have to back out. Lucas might even get caught in the shutter, but just manages to live on a scrap of health. And now the advantage is in Trum's hands. We'll see if they can get out of last.
Yeah, we did see both scouts down the side of 4Toast. They went super, super aggressive. Oh, Thomas is actually hiding towards lobby. Trades for Hugo. Not the worst thing in the world. Makes it a little bit trickier getting onto second, but ultimately, Ora will be getting control. Do still have about 25% Uber advantage. They could look to keep on going, move all the way to Big Door if they want to, but there's really not much time at all. Uber has been used. Yep, Lucas has gone down. Ron's has managed to trade out just a little bit. They do have some decent position that can be taken, but Uber's now in the hands of DuMmTm, and he's got both the scouts with him. They can look to push possibly all the way through choking. They don't even need a soldier. It's just the sheer power of the scout class. Uber has been used. Nice shot there from Neo. They get one. Chasing onto Eames all the way through main, and he's not going to be lasting long at all. But the chase, they can't go all the way onto Trump.
Hugo just manages to keep them alive with that Thomas pick as well. They're just starting to cap up second here, 4Toast, and it looks like Ora already getting in position to look for something, but they are just going to eventually fall back to last. They know their advantage isn't big enough to even fake that they can do something here. Sentry Gun going up on last as per usual. Credit already towards water. Looks like Hugo has spotted that. He's got his eyes on the lower area, and Credu is just going to skedaddle.
All right,
They're just taking the Uber.
Oh, immediately, they're going to Uber all the way in. They're going to catch Pappy, but it's going to be so difficult getting anything else. You can see all these players on the side of 4Toast. Actually, oh my god! Bronze It's just got nuked into the Shadow Realm. Jesus, yeah, that's going to be the end of that push.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. It was very nice to see them just try and take a dot push into 4Toast there, but there was just too much space between them. They couldn't really get anything, and now the massive ad coming into last from 4Toast. Meer running straight across the point onto Eames. He's going to get cleaned up by Hugo hiding in secret there. Sentry Gun's still up as well. Credu in behind. Eames now 2-shot in the back, getting cap on the point. It's so close to being capped. They can just play this slow now, maybe re-push together. Credu still trying to do something, but he's just going to fall in the end. Toe now fails his bomb coming in for something, maybe just trying to skip onto the point and sneakily cap it up. Pappy also hiding in the basement. Doesn't get checked by Hugo.
No, looks like, yeah, okay, there we go. The check does come in. They deal these couple little soldiers, and now this should be second in the hands of Ora Elektro. They were very, very aware of the potential of a backup there, so a little bit spooked, but works out for them. 20% advantage right now. You see DuMmTm playing nice and far back, wants to get his own Uber. It's going to be pretty close. Ora Elektro wants to try and get onto mid here. This is going to be very great. Most likely it end up being a trade, but yep. There we go. Uber's been used. Lucas goes down. Actually, Trump's not even had to use... Okay, he does eventually have to. This is a scrappy little fight here. Doesn't really look like they're getting anything for it. Now Thomas in the back lines. Yeah, no, this is disaster for Ora.
Yeah, everything they tried to do kind of went wrong at this very same time. Rons went up behind 4Toast. They pushed into 4Toast from the front as well, but then the Uber just comes out from Domo. They clean up all of those frags, and although Trum is milking it for the better Uber, it doesn't really matter when 3 of your players go down how many seconds of extra Uber you have. You're not going to be able to come back from that 3-man disadvantage. So in the end, 4Toast getting an easy control of second there, also killing Trum in the Uber. They get this 50% advantage to recycle for last. Looks like Neo just wants to build this last bit up, as they do get it up to 90%. Going to be a River Uber for the first time, it seems.
Yep, classic little River kind of push. Usually you'll be flashing a scout in early, get him Ubered through these stickies. Yep, all the way towards low, and you see exactly that happening right now. Get that pressure early onto Demo, but actually Eames, second layer of stickies. He is going to be dealing with that one scout. Do see, we are now onto the point. He's going to get taken down. No stickies once again for the defending side. As long as they can just keep weathering the storm. Just a minute. Soldier on the point, he's taking so much damage. Nevo's doing huge amounts of work right now. This is, it's disgusting.
Oh, for a moment there, it looked like they forgot about Thomas. He was just standing on the point, gets an arrow from Domo as well to keep him alive even longer. But it looks like Ora have been doing very, very well on these last defenses so far. Both these scouts running at Eames. I mean, it's not looking too good for them. At least so far, they get taken down most of the time, sometimes managing to trade it. And in fact, they're just going straight into mid from drop down here. Thomas gets caught off guard, but the Uber has to be used for it. So only one frag with the Uber. Now it's flip-flopped. Domo in control. They're going to be taking this from Big Door. 4Toast, they're nearly ready to pop it any second now. Nevo just playing the stickies, but it's a 3-man bust of the choke to try and cause some chaos here from Ora Elektro. They do get 2 kills from it. They force 4Toast to come back for them, playing on their terms. They might even kill Neo here. In fact, everyone just flooding into the choke now, but Domo could just use in their face. Neo's taking this huge solo. Does get that first frag onto Nevo. Gonna find Eames here as well. Surely he gets cleaned up. And yeah, this is looking great for 4Toast.
Yeah, we do see at least Rons will get forwards. Nevo will get denied most likely here. Yeah, does look like he will. So from Uber advantage, it's not enough to make up for this 2-player disadvantage right now. They look like they want to keep trying to play fairly close. They've not got a great deal of spam. Actually, Hugo from the high ground does manage to get that one frag. And actually, that's going to put a hold on this push for the side of 4Toast now. Player advantage, Uber advantage, things are looking good. Thomas once again playing close, but they're aware of it this time. If they can get this frag, that might be even better, but as long as they force him away, this will be fantastic. Taking mid for free would be perfect, or, you know, trading mid for the sake of a player, that's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Rons clears the stickies in obviously the most convenient way. Pappy has snuck in through drop down, gets a nice bomb in onto the point, but Trum has just managed to outmaneuver him. He kills Nevo instead though and still forces them off in the corner. Pappy gets so much value for that bomb. And now the Uber is out from 4Toast. They're chasing. Everyone's trying to scatter, but it looks like Trum is caught between a rock and a hard place. Hugo and Yeehaw on the back lines. Hugo's going to get the frag onto Credu. Yeehaw capping up almost half of that second cap. but I still favor the team with the medic here. Just so easy to do this damage and keep it, you know, permanent until Trum is back up. They can just scrap people down.
Yeah, we say that just from this position. They have got to play just a little bit further back, wait for their spawns, keep on healing. Wiethoofd does look like he's going to get caught out, unless he can hit some of that crazy magic Wiethoofd, but doesn't happen this time. So yeah, exactly like you said, this is a firm advantage here in pretty much every regards for the side of 4Toast, and will just be forcing Ora Elektro all the way out, keep it nice and easy. And importantly, they can start their mid-cap going and just keep on moving all the way through choke. Trum has to be very, very aware of his positioning right now. Getting caught here would be effectively the same as losing at last.
Yeah, Wiethoofd taking some pot shots from the forward spawn. Hasn't quite been locked down yet. The sack is in from Hugo as well, which gets that force off onto Domo. So this is by no means bad at all now for Aura. In fact, they could even deny the second capture before it even comes through. Looks like they want to do that. They do bomb in. Ronz looks... Oh, he just gets that flash with 3 seconds left. Nearly gets dropped from the U-boat, or with 3 health left rather. Thomas bombing onto Eames in the shutter, just about manages to get taken down. Eames with 1 HP. And now this is a very, very clean retake of second, managing to lose no one on the side of Aura. Also going to be able to flood into mid as the forward spawns are denied. Credu taking pot shots from the forward spawn again, but they get him locked out and back spawned.
Yep, not too bad there. It's almost a shame for the side of Aura that 4Toast did end up capping up second, otherwise they could have had so much more speed there, but they'll be pretty happy to get control of mid just for the second. Domo, 98%. Uber's once again up. Interesting to see how they want to go for this. Obviously, if you can get it free, even better. But sometimes you just want to try and get in, but nope, looks like they can just walk all the way through. They've actually done so much damage with these soldiers. How Eames gets that frag, I have no idea, and no one on the side of Aura goes down, and now it's basically just going to stalemate.
Yeah, it even looked risky what Eames is doing, like, kept trying his luck on the choke, just peeking it bit by bit, but eventually manages to get Thomas for his troubles. Now there's a sack in. Ronz has been spotted already by Neo. He's just trying to shoot these uphill directs instead, but there's no chance. He gets destroyed in drop down. So now maybe it's Pappy's turn. They look like they're coming close to the choke to make some space. In fact, they just use straight in. The trade is out in return, and Pappy looks like he might get caught here in lobby. And everyone's still committed from 4Toast if they crunch on the choke now. In fact, there's a bust from Big Door at the same time. 4Toast now turning this around. Nevo and Wiethoofd, the sole survivors in this fight. They are managing to now get help from Ronz, bombing in from lobby, but there's so little health between them. They need to decide who gets this one pack, as Domo is still up, but their own medic is not. They are just going to turn their tails and run eventually, not able to get anything towards middle here.
No, it was a decent contention of second though. Not too bad, but honestly, I don't know, as it goes so often in TF2, it's, you know, if you lose your medic and they don't, guess what? You got to play the exact same situation, but with a bit disadvantage. So this is going to continue to be a little bit hard for Ora Elektro. 90% now on Domo. They are still playing towards this choke a second. Could possibly try and do the exact same thing again, but obviously this time they can just use straight in if they need to. They're going to be walking through, taking a lot of position. Hugo at the high bomb is going to be jumping away, actually. Not going for that heavy commit. If they delay things here, it will buy Trum enough time to get this Uber for last. They don't actually have to commit anyone here. It looks like that's exactly what Aura's going to be doing.
Yeah, wise play. Just don't need to sack anyone if you can at least scare them into going slow, checking all the hiding spots, playing back for those bombers, and eventually you just get your own Uber. That last 30% is now up for Trum. So we'll see what happens on this kind of even last situation. Most of the time we've been here, one of the teams have had an advantage and done something with it, but we do just have our standard sentry gun pyro duo, but the Wiethoofd actually lacking on those reflex, just lets Nevo's level 1 go down. So now we might see some kind of play towards point here. Thomas actually bombing into the spawn, does get a kill onto Ronz, tries to rebomb, but he gets traded out. Now Pappy on the point, fakes it, goes onto the med instead, but Trum has the resupply bind right on his fingertips.
That's so squeaky. That is absolute squeaky bum time right there.
Hugo's getting towards up top while everyone on 4Toast is out on second. He's been spotted, so it'll be a difficult bomb to take. Probably not wise to even try it. He does head back to last now, but he's got some space for Nevo. Nevo's taking an angle towards River here on the sniper.
Yeah, It is a nice long angle to be playing here. It can be a little bit annoying to deal with. Obviously, anyone, going towards river, kind of difficult to see with like the darker background, but he's been spotted out, so now 4Toast, they played against snipers like this a million times. They should be able to be nice and comfortable with it. They are, once again, looking good, spamming this gun. We're going to be back on the pyro for just a second. It's so important to keep this gun alive. It denies just so much space, as we've literally just seen.
Yeah, Toe can't even get his head round the corner. Even a level 1 is enough to just kind of knock him back against that wall, deny all momentum. Lucas now just spamming towards Trum, trying to get those rollers at his feet while Thomas sacks in, but nothing to be found there. Yeehor destroys him out the sky with the Frontier Justice.
Brutal. This is 14 minutes left in the game, still 1-0 for the side of 4Toast, so they were looking pretty good to begin with, but it does look like it's kind of equaled out just a little bit. It's definitely interesting how games like this can swing momentum wildly, but it doesn't seem like Ora's looking to do anything too aggressive right now. They're clearly not feeling pressured because they're just sticking with this Pyro Sentry situation, a very defensive collection of off classes.
Yeah, it's very tricky to do much else, though. I will say on Gully, you kind of want to permanently have this sentry, and then seeing as you're having pretty much 2 people committing to it all the time, your NG and your Pyro, it's very tricky to do anything.
Oh my god, this is actually really scary for the side of Ora. Oh my god, yeah, Lucas is just doing so much work towards a shutter, pairing with Thomas as well. They managed to get the gun down. Hugo living is just absolute magic. And okay, right, Yeehor's putting an end to Lucas's like reign of terror. He's like, no, not having that at all. And actually, this does open up quite an opportunity with no stickies towards shutter. That's a very significant opening, especially with Credo on the sniper as well. It's great for kind of single target damage, but sometimes you can almost just try and bust a little bit. Oh,
yeah, unfortunately, losing Nevo there kind of puts a stop to it. But yeah, with no stickies on the shutters, it's a great opportunity. They had Hugo kind of peeking out of basement there. They would have been able to get him behind if Nevo hadn't gone down, and then from there, who knows what play could be made, but we're just back to this scenario on last now. Credu, again, just trying to take these peaks towards, Launchpad. And Neo under the point already. Hugo has his eyes on it. Puts a good rocket of damage in to stop that, but Rons has fallen. Credu's taking the angle in Riverside now. Just so much consistent pressure from 4Toast. It's so scary being Ora here. Neo just runs in and takes down Yeehor also. And the Uber gets forced. Trum has to use it off eventually. Domo looks like he's got a clean escape here. Doesn't have the best classes to keep control of second, but with that Uber that could just pop off at any time, Ora can't even risk it.
Nah, yeah, it's too scary. Absolutely too scary there, so they will just be chilling, and even you see Lucas holding up that spawn door for Credu, so he's on Scout. Obviously a much better class in terms of these pushes, so will be big opportunity for the side of 4Toast. It is only actually going to be about a 50% advantage, so if they can just really hold, it's possible for Trump to get his own, but obviously it's all going to be about keeping control of things right now. Uber has been used, a lot of damage towards top right, gun going to be going down. Are keeping those players alive. Neo gone down once again. One Scout able to move towards the point, which will be Credu. Now just playing nice and chill. Another frag. Yep, onto Thomas. This is looking very good for Ora Elektro. A lot of cap time. But it's going to be Lucas and Credu. Both going down right at the tail end of things. Pappy and Domo are surviving just about, but Domo's actually disconnected, so not going to be healing at all.
Yeah, Ron's looked to be chasing, but the opportunity has passed. And even with these huge advantages, Ora are doing such a great job on last. Eames managing to hold his own on lower every single time, manages to kill Neo, capping the point again that time. But he gets caught out in choke, dropped by Trum there, and now they do have to take this Uber charge anyway. They need to clean up these 2 soldiers. He gets a bow. Pappy's managing to escape. There's no one dying to the Uber at all. Now Trum gets caught in. Oh no.
It's tragic. It's absolutely tragic. What a huge potential situation there. And they just get annihilated. Hugo as well! Tries to hide and drop down, just gets annihilated by Lucas with like the 900 IQ play. He knows literally everything in the game. And this is 4Toast once again. Huge Uber advantage. I mean, if they can just string together a last push, they can be just so many rounds ahead at this point.
Yeah, I mean, this is the opportunity to do it. Eames hasn't managed to get into lower yet. They don't have this class is set up, seeing as they've died so recently. Now the Uber does come in. Sentry gun going down once again. They need to start getting the point time, but Neo looks so scared of Eames' trap. Instead, they're just going to fight for the spawns, kind of tickle the point from the front. Hugo's put a stop to that, though, with a huge 2k. Now he's coming in behind the demo, bombing in onto Lucas. Gonna pick up that frag too with the help of Yeehor. They are so perfect at holding this last eepily. How many opportunities have 4Toast had this game that have just faltered at the hands of pretty much Eames playing this point perfectly from the scouts?
Yeah, it's huge. It's absolutely, like, insane. It must be so frustrating for the side of 4Toast, but obviously massive shout out there for Hugo, the Merc. Even though he did, play in some of these previous games for Ora Elektro, he is still a Merc. This, he isn't even like the main player, so shout out to the massive plays he's been making, as he does just feed a little bit. But this is going to be Ora Elektro walking in towards mid. They have lost a player, 80% on Domo. They need to start locking these players out of this choke point to prevent any kind of just immediate recongestion. Lucas is still so keen on it. These heals aren't moving forward, really. He has gone down. Can this be just enough? Oh, Thomas is in. Yeah, and he's getting that force off so easily.
Yeah, just the amount of time they had to spend on Pappy there. Literally a 30 health player in mini elbow managed to take up so much time and commitment, scaring Aura. They had to bow players as well, making no progress walking forwards. Thomas just gets an easy sack onto some not very well set up players, and now it's an advantage. They just pop it through. Lucas gets launched into the skybox. They're going to find Rons here, but that looks like the only pick they'll be getting. Ubers have, of course, flip-flopped. Trum now in control, 70% for him.
Yeah, this is going to be, as always, an opportunity here. 8 minutes left on the clock. Time is slowly going to start becoming the enemy here for the side of Ora Elektro, but it is still very doable. So you can see, yep, Uber going to be used immediately. We are going to be seeing Eames catching out Neo. He can potentially try and go through Joke. He's jumping all the way in as well. Oh, that's a huge ass. That is Lucas just annihilating Eames and putting a stop to this push. Oh my god.
But the Aura Scouts, though. The Aura Scouts, there's never a stop to the push while Yeehor is alive. Both soldiers from 4Toast went behind. I thought it was all over for Aura and they just get caught out while trying to leave, but the Scouts clean up everything at the end. 3 frags back to back for Yeehor and Yeevo. Yeehor and Yeevo? Yeah, Yeehor and Yeevo. But 4Toast still obviously have this Ubercharge advantage. Aura just playing this kind of passive by choke. Ron's putting a bit of spam in, but eventually they do escape. But the Uber gets used off anyway. They're trying to catch anything they can. They get Eames, but they lose Neo for it. 1-for-1 trade here, and now Trum has his Uber up as well. They're just running this one through. The cap does come in just in time, and the Scouts on the low ground not in the best position to get the kills, but they do finally collapse onto Domo. Very nice kill to find at the tail end of the Uber there, but Trum just jumps off the point and everyone's falling for Aura now.
Oh my god.
Only Yeehor left alive. There is some low health players he could try and pick up, but he's between 5 people. He is managing to live a little longer than he should, but doesn't get any value for his time.
Okay.
What a chaotic push.
Yeah, that was... Yeah, pure chaos. It was like such a huge pipe from like Lucas. I think it just sent Trom into the ground for like 25 fall damage. It's ridiculous. But they want to keep on fighting now, walking all the way in, getting some decent positioning. But soldiers going down instantly. Two being traded. Good does need to get some health before he can play with the rest of his team. And importantly, they are super split. So this is going to be 4Toast in a very good position. Really, they should just be able to clean up these easy frags.
Oh, Hugo just not hitting the splash shot there onto Domo. So, yep, pretty clean mid-take and a free second as well for 4Toast. I mean, Aura, they've been doing so well at keeping themselves alive, but you need more than just keeping yourselves alive. You need these pushes to not be coming out so 50-50, so chaotic and scrambled. You need to be getting convincing momentum forwards throughout the map. You've been 1-0 down for literally 24 minutes now.
Yeah.
You need to find a win, otherwise all of your effort will have been for nothing. Thomas looking to get some spam in. The sentry gun is up by the spawn already. They take down the telly though, huge pick.
Oh wow, absolutely enormous. No one's going to teleport anywhere. That's going to be, I don't know, somehow disastrous for the Ora Elektro hold. We're seeing constant pressure here and there. 4Toast kind of behavior. Neo does go down, but doesn't really mean anything. As long as they can just keep on holding here pretty much indefinitely, they could go back for, a sniper or a spy. I mean, even a heavy at this point. It's very much getting to the point in the game where 4Toast, they're so happy just to play here pretty much indefinitely. Or Electro, they're going to have to start making riskier and riskier plays.
Yeah, and it's the scary place to be to make risky plays is on your own last, especially a last where you kind of rely on this sentry gun so much to stop, 6 players just flooding in and scaring you into popping. Rons gets caught out trying to do something cheeky, but runs straight into Lucas's trap on launchpad. Pappy now putting a bit of spam into the gun. Lucas as well, seeing what he can get done. Hugo, in fact, falling as well. That's 2 soldiers down.
Oh, no.
Thomas is just walking in for free. The sentry gun is down. There's time on the point as well. There's so many frags on point. All the damage.
This is an absolute mess for everything. Everything inside of Electro Uber's been used. It is fading, but look at them. They're in such a fantastic position. Huge rockets from the soldiers on the side of 4Toast, and that is going to be an easy little round there. That was played so well.
It was so beautiful to see. I mean, they just took all the ground after killing those 2 soldiers. Thomas walked all the way in, and then Lucas and Thomas just both shot the point at the same time, knowing it had to be blocked after that scout snuck through under, and they just doubled up, getting 2 kills with all the same splash damage. And from there, it's over. So finally, 4Toast take this all-important second round, and it needs to be back-to-back aggression from Ora now, which we do actually see. Looks like they're coming up on top on this mid-fight. Thomas, though, does find Trum on the tail end, which is not good for the momentum, but Domo's going to go down anyway. Predu also getting cleaned up here. It's a Soul Pappy alive behind. This is a good mid-fight for Ora. With 3 minutes, they have to find 2 rounds here, and that's a good start to it.
Yeah, it is still going to be very difficult, though, losing Trum there. Especially from such a clean bomb. Somehow Thomas just, threads the needle. And it's so sad. Having an Uber advantage here would be just perfect for Ora, but now they have to kind of decide exactly what they want to do right now. Ron's is kind of getting just bullied in lobby right now by Lucas.
They would have had Kritzkrieg advantage, but Pappy lived all through this mid, and he was bullying them in the forward spawn. They couldn't leave until they got some extra spawners. So in fact, it's Kritzkrieg disadvantage despite the crits building faster. Pappy has just had so much impact spawn camping, and he's still behind. Even managing to get some spam on from Choke, they still haven't managed to deal with him. And he's going to be able to get the clean escape into lobby. In fact, Eames will dep a single sticky onto him. I think just by replacing his stickies. That was kind of an accidental det kill there.
Well, this is it. This is pretty much the moment, which is just everything right now. Crits is going to have to get used all the way towards back. It has been used. Trying to get some stickies towards top right, but guess what? Domus just pressed his right click. He's got his Uber 3 times 0. Still very much 0. And now going to be getting nothing from that crits. There is still a gun up as well. Do you still see the side
of... under is tricky for them.
It is. It is a little bit, but I don't know. He was so weak as well. Pappy's going to clean him up, and constantly playing with 5 players, it's not really going to work for Ora. I guess their only opportunity is to use this remaining crits ad and then have a perfect next round. But even then, it's going to be so close. It's going to be what they go for.
Yeah, it's so difficult as well. Pyro, of course, can reflect everything, and crits don't damage sentries for 3 times. Eames just not hitting these first few stickies. Doesn't manage to get Domo here either. It finally gets reflected by Credu as well. There's time on point, though. Hugo and Nevo playing it from under, but it's just not enough. I think I'm ready to call this the nail in the coffin. Yeehaw playing the point. Actually, he gets it! Never mind! There is still hope. There is still breath in Ora Elektro as Yeehaw, the playmaker, as always, for Ora. Every team he's on, you can just never count them out when they have the Yeehaw factor. Just runs onto point there. This needs to be the fastest round ever, though. We have to see Ora destroy house here.
Yeah, they need to just absolutely just annihilate right now. So here we go, 40 seconds on the clock. We're going to be seeing all the high ground position being taken. They've actually got to play the point a lot as well. So much great movement there from the side of Trum, but it's not going to be enough. Thomas is just directly above him. They are getting this cap time. They do have the mid one at least. Hugo's trying to do what he can, but you can see, there's so many red health players. Hugo's just going to kill himself because, I don't know, presumably he's done with this world. And at this point, the second that Uber goes to 100%. Surely it's not possible. We do still see fighting. Yep, Nevo not be able to get this second cap.
It's over. There's
Yeah.
6 seconds left. And eventually, 4Toast do get a hold of their own map pick. And considering this is their map pick, before any bans have even been considered, this is the map that 4Toast were most confident on. This is kind of a good look for Ora, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's definitely not too bad. It wasn't, like even I think if it was like a 3-0 or something, like for the side of 4Toast, I'd still say it's not too bad for Ora. But the fact that it was 2-1 and it was very back and forth does definitely say a lot for Aura's chances. Obviously, after this, we will be going into Reckoner. But before that, I think we have some people who are going to talk about the games, which